What up, everybody? It's Tony. It's Dave. Fresh off a great day of baseball and basketball, getting ready for the 9 game slate tonight in DraftKings Monday night. Dave, it was a great weekend. Obviously, as we're actually recording this right now, we're still talking about a game that's going to happen tonight. That maybe we go 8-0 in our picks for the day. But we're talking baseball, Dave. So, number one, how was your weekend? Number two, what's on your agenda for this Monday?
Dude, awesome stuff. We opened the day with a possible 8-banger. We're
Oof.
already 6-0, could go 8-0, and that's awesome. Swept through the afternoon with some good DFS stuff. If you checked out the article today on Win Daily Sports, definitely dialed you into a Phillies, Rays stack, and Guardians. Top 3 scoring teams on the slate today. Now, the Nats did get right there on Cleveland, but Phillies and Rays, really? So, I mean, we had a good day in DFS as well, and we're ready to roll that right into Monday, Tone. It was a great weekend and looking for a great week. I mean, a lot of good matchups, and we start tomorrow with a big slate.
Yeah. Listen, again, it's a great time of year. You have everything going on. You got NHL going on. You got MLB going on. You got NBA going on. NFL draft season's coming up. So a lot of great topics to talk about, obviously. But what we're here right now is we're here to try to make you some money, and we're going to go specifically with a 7 game. Not or a 9 game, 7 p.m. start on DraftKings. We're going to try to break it down like we always do. Pitchers, stacks, values, FFVPs. And as always, WinDailySports.com. Make sure, number one, biggest thing you need to do is hit that like button, hit the subscribe button to this channel. Number two, you got to go to WinDailySports.com. You got to go over there. You got to sign up for your membership for free and get in that Discord, because that's where me and Dave, as well as other people, will be dropping our props later on. Because as of this recording right now, we do not have those home run numbers,
Right.
but you're going to drop those home run props in Discord. So you have to make sure you get in there. We're going to have the HRR props in there as well, which we hit again on today. So make sure you get in those Discord. But Dave, right off the bat, we obviously we always talk about money, and it's the way we do it. Kevin Gausman, Jacob deGrom, 10-2, 10-1 respectively. Are we paying up for pitching today, Dave?
We are. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to tell you take one of those two, but let me tell you, take one of those two. Now, I would lean towards Jacob deGrom. He gets the rematch of Kansas City, who he had last week. So he gets to see them again. He got 9 Ks, 25.6 DK points. The numbers on deGrom, 4.32 ERA aren't too sexy, but when you look deeper, 1.27 FIP, 2.01 Sierra. So we've seen that he's kind of got a little unfortunate that they've scored runs on the limited amount of hits that he's allowed. So I like him the most. I'm not listen, last year, Gausman was one of those guys that had a batting average of balls in play that was enormous, and that's what brought down his FIP. He's doing it again this year. They're batting 306 on him with balls in play. His 1.35 ERA, though, it's right around where it should be. So I'd still like him, but I just think Houston's one of those teams I tend to try and lay off. So I want to just see where Gausman lands, versus a tougher team. He's had, obviously a great start to the season, but he's faced Detroit, Kansas City, and a decent St. Louis team. But like those other two, 29th and 30th in the league. So I'll pull back and go with deGrom. Long-winded, but I got there.
No. Listen, I completely agree with you. When you go anytime when you're talking about top tier pitching, you definitely have to look at the lineup. And Houston is a very formidable offensive lineup, so you have to be very careful. Now, we talk about paying down. Now, obviously, if you're going to pay off for one of them, you're not going to pay for both of them. So if you're going with deGrom at that $10,000 number, then you have to look at, where do I drop down to? Who's going to be my next 1B? And is there any value, or are you going up in that $8,000 range?
I like the $8,000 range. I was off Burns last week, and he, quote unquote, burnt me. He really had a really, really good game out there in Arizona. 36.2, let up only 3 hits over 8 innings. Is he back? Maybe, but that's what we waited to see. And Tony, we've talked about this a lot when we've done these shows. It's a kind of prove it league, right? So you can't always just say he's going to snap out of it. Sometimes these new pitch clocks and rules really do affect guys, and it takes time to adapt to that. And I think we finally got there with Burns. So I could see myself getting there. Seattle, nice team, but a team I don't mind attacking. And another one, I'll tell you, I really like Max Fried tomorrow. Max Fried, of the Braves, popped his hamstring on day one. He's out of it now. and he's coming in at 8,100. I don't think there'll be much, limitations set on him. If it is, it's probably in the 80 pitch range. But we saw it again today. These San Diego Padres, I mean, they got shut down by a lefty today, and that's one of the biggest reasons in Wade Miley. Absolutely, shut them out. So now they get another lefty, one that's even better in class. So I think in that 8K range, Max Fried is really going to be valuable.
Now, let me ask you about two guys before we move on to stacks. Again, every time you look at these lineups, you have to get a little different. You have to think about what if. Not every DFS player only plays one lineup. You usually play multiple lineups, and you try to get different on one or the other. Maybe stick to some guys you really, really like. Two guys that intrigue me a lot, under that $7,500 range is Merrill Kelly at 7,400. Again, listen, Merrill Kelly had a good outing last time. I know he's 0-2, but St. Louis swings and strikes out a ton, especially on the early going. And Kyle Freeland at home against Pittsburgh, who's really showing they don't hit the ball very well right now at home, is very good. Any of those two guys intrigue you at all, Dave?
Yeah, I do like Freeland. It was a motto of ours last year to attack Pittsburgh with any lefty. And Freeland is surprising. He started this year with a sub-1 ERA in his 3 starts. He's looked pretty good overall. So I think you got a good point there. I always, it always fascinates me with Freeland because I remember last year he actually, I think, pitched better at home. Oh, no, it was worse at home. But still, he's a guy that, who everybody pitches worse in Colorado if you wear those purple and black. But to start this year, he's been really good. So I like Freeland, especially against a weak hitting Pittsburgh. You mentioned it. I forget in what show we were doing, but what do they have outside of Reynolds right now? With O'Neill Cruz on the bench with injuries, it's really it's a weird lineup. I mean, you got Kutch, but it's not a well put together lineup. So I like Freeland out of those. Merrill Kelly's a nice pitcher. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sure about the spot in St. Louis. So I'd lean Freeland more.
Yeah, I definitely like Freeland. And again, even though at home he's not a tremendous pitcher stat wise, this is what we're looking at. We talk it again, $7,100. One thing I look at is he struck out 10 in 2 games, 5 per game. He's going at least 6 innings, throwing 85 to 90 pitches. So he's giving you double-digit points, even not being extremely effective, which means against a very lackluster lineup at home, if he even gives you 1 more inning and 2 more strikeouts, you're talking 20 to 25 DK at 7,100. That is something that'll absolutely make you cash. Now, Dave, speaking of bats, stacks, we always talk about that. Where are we stacking up tomorrow, or I should say tonight?
Yeah, looking first and foremost with Texas, and we did it last week. Going against Lyles, you think there's good potential for some home runs in that game. He's a heavy fly ball pitcher. KC was an environment that was popping over the weekend, led up a lot of homers to the Braves. So Texas is one that's definitely going to be on our eyes. And Milwaukee's another. Milwaukee was built around the home run ball, and now they get to face Chris Flexen, who has been allowing a ton of home runs so far this season. Again, another standard fly ball pitcher, 8.74 ERA, led up 8 earned runs last game. He's led up 3 home runs so far this season in 3 games. So I kind of like Milwaukee and Texas, both power bats in those lineups.
I like that. Now I will say this, after seeing today's game, I'm going with a full onslaught of a Philadelphia Philly stack against Lance Lynn because one thing that Philadelphia likes to do is hit the ball long, and I know they haven't had a ton of home run today. JT goes long, JK goes all right. Or Bryson Stott. I get it, but this guy can be attacked, and this is the kind of pitcher that Philadelphia loves to attack, and they got a great momentum right now. And you look at Lance Lynn, has not been great. Already given up 6 home runs in 3 starts.
Ooh.
Okay, he is right. He's not been good. He's been brutal. And now here's the thing, Dave, me and you talked about this on Sirius this morning, where we talked about, how you have to get different with this Philly line because you have some big numbers. I mean, listen, Trey Turner, 6,100, Schwarber, 5,600, JT, 5,500, even Castellanos is up there, 4,500. I mean, you have to get different. And I think that you can get a really nice stack here. I definitely revolve around Trey because, again, he showed today why they signed him. Another 3-hit day. Listen, the other day was an aberration. Forget about that. This is the guy you build around, and I think you can get different with maybe like a Turner, Bohm, stock kind of mix to give you a nice stack against a really bad pitcher right now.
Yeah, I'll throw one more in there. And the guy's been impressing me all season is Brandon Marsh. Now they're moving up to fifth in the lineup, had another really good day. So, Cave had a good day too. So if you want to go dumpster diving, there might be some value down in the bottom of the lineup, but 23 hits today, bro. So, yeah, I hear you, man. I think it's a good stack. I know Javon checking in. Thanks for checking in. I'm a big Cubs guy with that offense this year, especially with Suzuki back in the lineup. Belly hit a homer again today off his former teammates in the Dodgers, off a really tough pitcher in Arias, and then Happen Swanson. Yeah, I think you have some really good points there. I think that could be a really, really good stack tomorrow against Kyle Muller. He's been okay, right? But he had a really bad outing in his last outing. So I like where you're going with the Cubs stack. They've been really good this year.
Yeah,
I think looking at their fifth overall in average in the MLB.
Yeah, who would have thought? Who would have thought? Right? Now value stacks. Do we got any value stacks here on the horizon?
Well, you always got to get different. That's why today was one of my stacks was Tampa against Manoah, and it seemed to pay off well. And I know it's a guy that's been pitching okay. 1.76 ERA, but he still is struggling finding the zone and has 14 Ks in 3 starts. And that's Jack Flaherty. I'm going to take a flyer that Arizona, has some power bats. They're a very patient team. That's what I tend to like about Arizona looking on the year. They're in the top 14 in walk rate. So I'm sorry. They're a little lower in walk rate than I anticipated, but they're very good in hard hit rate. So Flaherty's been letting up some hard hit balls when he does get hit. When he does find the zone, I'll take a shot on Arizona tomorrow.
I love Arizona. And here's why I love Arizona, because you essentially can get really unique here, and you can go in one lineup with a straight Phillies Arizona stack because Arizona is that valuable. And what I mean by that is their value bats: Christian Walker 3,600, Longoria 3,400, Corbin Carroll 3,100, Nick Ahmed 2,500. That's if you don't want to pay up for Ketel Marte at 4,200, which is still only 4,200. So you can really get different. You can get 6 guys that can really turn it on, and then if you can hit with DeGrom up in that top spot and one of those value pitchers, I'll tell you, Dave, you could have a really good lineup.
You could. I mean, they got 5 off Alcantara today. I do like Alec Thomas too. I think you can steal bases against St. Louis. That's the other thing. Contreras is not Yadi Molina back there, and I just think you have an opportunity to run the bases and get those extra points too. So Alec Thomas is one I do like in that lineup at the bottom with Nick Ahmed. I know you used him a few times this year, and he's paid off. I think Arizona has a potential to be a sneaky stack tomorrow.
I love the sneaky stacks. Now, Dave, me and you today, or I should say yesterday, whatever you want to call it. Listen, there's no secret. We're recording this the night before, okay? Right. Full transparent. I'm not going to sit here with all these code words, say tonight. Listen, it's recorded the night before, so you guys can get a full run all day about this. That's why we have a Discord, so we can get back and forth in there. But me and Dave, we obliterated the FFVP today on Sirius, and I know we have another couple guys that we have to look at. So Dave, I'm going to go first here. I call it FFVP, and another lineup that you can get some cheap bats that isn't always successful, okay, but it's the Oakland Athletics, and I'm going to go with my man Estory Ruiz, okay, because another guy, a $2,800 guy, okay, 10, 14, 6, 21, 12. The guy has hit safely in his last 7 games. He's being positive point production every single time, multi-hit games, RBIs, and he's only struck out 2 times in 7 games. This is the epitome of the FFVP. So Estory Ruiz, he is my guy.
I like it, man. I tell you, what was it today? I know we had you had your guy from Cleveland, the guy.
Yeah, it was Will Brennan.
Yeah, Brennan had a nice game. we had a bunch. I know Walls hit well for me with Tampa. So we're going to have to continue to go back to one of those stacks that I really did like. Looking deeply into this, I said Texas early on is a stack I liked, but I also said we could look at Milwaukee. And one guy out in Milwaukee that I've liked so far this year has been solid for us in a few good spots. I want to see if he's playing is Bryce Terang. I'm going to take a shot on Terang. He's cooled off a little bit, but still, over the past couple of days, he's found his way back in the lineup, hitting again 2 of 7, 11 points in 2 games. That's 5.5. And if you're getting him at 2,400, you're almost getting 3x value on it. But going against Flexen, again, a lefty in the lineup, I'll take Terang tomorrow as my FFVP.
I love it. Terang, baby. Terang.
It's been good for them. I mean, they got a guy in the outfield I like as well, but I think he just moves over the clip in Garrett Mitchell. So they have a lot of nice little pieces.
And we are I've been checking. It says I like Tavares against Lyles tomorrow for the FFVP. This is go ahead, Dave. What are you saying?
I thought about it. I looked at a few. I like Bubba Thompson a little bit against Lyles as well. Josh Smith if he plays, but yeah, that's a good one. Tavares is a good one.
I love this, and I really do, because it's the evolution, of this term. It's so much fun to me, because this is the way to get different and get unique, and picking these guys under 3. Listen, in baseball, it's the only way you can do it is in baseball. These guys are so low in value and low in ownership that this is the way that you cash, man. I'm telling you. It's a huge deal, and I love that everybody's getting involved. Javon jumped in from the very infancy stages. I know, we got Dave on board. We got Ivan checking in. I know I got Jimmy. I have my man B. Everybody in Discord jumping on. It's a fantastic thing. But Dave, final thoughts before we get out of here.
Yeah, I think tomorrow's going to be an interesting slate. We talked about getting different up at the top. Definitely going to try and buy in and invest in one of those pitchers. I think we can get somewhere in the 8K ranges or 1B. If you really want to dive down a little lower, there is a little bit of value, as we talked about with Freeland, and then even potentially, a guy like Mueller, maybe, but I think we could stack against him instead. And Tony, you threw a few other good names out. So I think get one at the top, get one in the middle, and then let's stack these lineups. Philly's 23 hits today is a nice call.
Yeah, man. Let's go. Let's make some money. Let's make some profit. Let's have some fun. As always, make sure you keep it locked in on WinDailySports.com. Make sure you're liking, subscribing to the channel. Make sure you're getting your membership. You can, whether it's win big or whether it's green, both words work to get you your free week. And then make sure you're jumping in the Discord, because that's where we will drop our props every night, right at 5:30, 6 o'clock, depending. A lot of things going in front. We got to look at weather concerns. We got to look at starting lineups. We got to figure that all out. So make sure you're hopping in there. There's a tab called props. You check in there. That's where we will drop them. And make sure you hit that MLB tab as well in Discord to get all the coaching that's there available for the lineups. And make sure you go to WinDailySports.com and catch the articles that guys like Jarrett and Dave are dropping every single day. And also Jarrett gets a prize pick show every day right here on this YouTube channel. So as always, everybody stay safe, stay healthy. We'll catch you back here next time.